Hello. How's it going? So today's is a double feature, and it was kind of an accident how that happened. I didn't do it with intention, not really. Despite the fact that these two movies are so the movies are ParaNorman and Corpse Bride. Obviously both claymations, both dealing with people who see dead people, and both being great spooky movies. But I didn't do that to like compare and contrast them or to like group them together for their similarity reasons. Nothing like that. I just went to New York City this weekend, and my controllers are going bananas. I went to New York City this weekend, and I did not charge my Switch, so maybe that's why we're having some problems. And I didn't have time to watch movies and then also play Tetris and record me talking because I was packing and also having a great weekend. Yeah, but I did watch the movies last week. So I watched ParaNorman first, and see, I do really like this movie. I think it's a good one. I think the story is fantastic. I love the bits where he goes back into time, like to, moments that were going on hundreds of years before Norman, even exists. I love the way that they incorporated the dead people that he sees, and just because they're still just like, I don't know, normal people in a way. It's not anything truly terrifying, but for him it just sucks that like he deals with this thing and everyone thinks he's weird for it, and that sucks. But then there are other elements of it that are just like sort of kind of creepy, and like when he literally is moving that guy's dead body to get the book that the guy tells him to get, otherwise the witch is going to do bad things from beyond the grave, and so he has to read her this storybook to put her back to sleep. That whole scene where he's literally like trying to pry this book away from his dead hands was like gross. But it's funny, it's cool, it's sad. That's about it. And then we have Corpse Bride. So what I didn't realize was that Corpse Bride came out in 2005. I thought it was much closer to the time that ParaNorman came out, which was in 2012. So that was crazy to find out that this movie is pretty close to 20 years old. That's wild. But it still holds up. I mean, as also ParaNorman did. ParaNorman came out nearly 10 years ago. But that's something that I really love about claymation, is that they are kind of timeless in the sense that you don't necessarily know when it came out based on looking at it. Like, some claymations you can tell, okay, this is very 90s, but, overall, like Coraline, like, why do I emphasize it like that? Coraline is, like, still a top tier animation in terms of like the way it just looks. It's phenomenal, and I still think one of the best claymations, like visually and story wise, I guess too. But they came out in 2009, and then you have Fantastic Mr. Fox as well, where like doesn't necessarily look like it came out a year later. I think a year later. It might have been the same year as Coraline, but it could be older, and there's nothing wrong with that. Whether that was a style choice or like a budget issue, that's like the cool thing about claymation, is that they just kind of carry this look all on their own, and it's something that's very cool in the way of storytelling, because you can get kind of lost in like, well, when was this even made? I can't even tell. I think there's something really special about that. I'm going to play one more game since it's a double feature, and since I lost that one pretty quickly. I really hate it when they change the themes of these. I really do. Something about me gets used to the colors and the music. The music really helps me play this game, so when I'm hearing like... It's going to change in a second. How am I supposed to play to this? No, I don't need the theatrics. I just want my button music, and nothing more. So anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, claymation is cool. It's definitely one of my favorite mediums of television. Absolutely. So something else that, something that I really love about Corpse Bride is something that actually Wes Anderson does for basically all of his films, is that the characters are very monotone in their dialogue and in their conversation and everything that they say. I mean, they will say like really dark things, really scary things, something very dramatic in the calmest way. Like in the Royal Tannenbaums, when... I really wish I could remember the names of these characters, but when one of the brothers looks himself in the eye in the mirror and he's like, I'm going to kill myself tomorrow. Like, it's a whisper, and it's something like very serious. But that's how every word is for Wes Anderson's characters. And in this movie, I know like in Tim Burton, it's not a Tim Burton thing. It's not something that happens in all of his, as I'm aware, any of his other movies. But yeah, the dialogue is very monotone, and I think that's to really highlight the saturation and the excitement and really the loudness of the dead. Because the living in this movie, they're just like very sad. Everything is gray. Everything is quiet. The things that are happy are very colorful. Like in the very first scene of the movie, when Johnny Depp is sitting at a desk and a butterfly goes in, and that's blue and it's pretty, and it's the only thing you see in that gray room. And even all the characters kind of look dead. They have these big bug eyes, and their clothes are gray, their skin is gray, they have massive bags in their eyes. They just don't look alive. And then you go to the other side of the world of the dead, and they have blue in their skin, and music, and fun. So I thought that was a really cool bit to put in, that even their voices are kind of dead, and they're all very quiet, almost like they're scared, because also the living, that all they do is conform and follow society. And yeah, it was really cool. And then of course the reveal at the end, just how everything is connected, also very cool. Something that I also love about the story is that the two main characters, even though they barely meet and they're supposed to marry and things like that, the enemy isn't, the other main character that Johnny Depp is actually supposed to marry. They don't make it that way, like a war between, I don't know, two women, or, something like that where he's set to marry this awful woman and he wants to marry this woman instead, but she's dead. It's not anything like that. It's a different kind of story in that way. Well, I guess in a lot of other ways, for many other reasons. But yeah, also a great movie. I looked up some of the directors, writers, crew, things like that. And there were 2 directors of ParaNorman. One guy was Chris Butler, the other one was Sam Bell. And yeah, I was looking it up, and Chris Butler was a forgot what it was called. I think it was called a story artist. He did that for Corpse Bride, and then Sam Bell and Chris Butler both worked on Kobo, which I've seen only once, but I really liked that movie. I haven't seen it since it came out, but yeah, that's a great one. Another great claymation. Claymations are great. Oh, and then I wrote adult versus kid up there. So if you are one of those people that thinks claymations are only for children, that's just absolutely not true. I implore you to watch Coraline. It's terrifying. Or the dog movie that Wes Anderson came out with. Absolutely not a children's movie. They can definitely be the oh my gosh, I can't talk. Best of both worlds, though. ParaNorman is fun for the whole family. Corpse Bride, though, I think is definitely more of an adult movie. And again, I'm going to go back on that monotone voice thing. It's difficult to keep a 6-year-old occupied or interested in watching Corpse Bride. And even one of I don't know what could be exciting for a kid. After Johnny Depp's character betroths the corpse bride, on accident, she's like, I got you a wedding present, and he opens the box and it's a collection of bones, and then the bones start moving, and it's his dog, and that's fucking cool to be gifted your dog that's kind of reincarnated, or not reincarnated, but alive in another way. And the character looks at it and there's excitement on his face, but it's still pretty boring, and he's like Johnny Depp just whispers, scraps. That's all that happens. That's not going to entertain a 6-year-old or even a 10-year-old. So I think Corpse Bride is really an adult movie, especially with the reveal at the end. It's just a classic, I don't know, sad mystery kind of thing. And ParaNorman could very well be both. ParaNorman also has kind of its slower, more boring moments. Yeah, I think both of them are more adult-like movies. That's it. I think I covered all the other topics. Yeah. So the next movie is Practical Magic. I love this movie so much. I can't wait to watch it tonight. So that will be the next video for Practical Magic. I shouldn't be slipping off the schedule anymore. That New York thing was my only trip. So I should be on point for the rest of the month, but we'll see. I hope you're having a great October so far. Stay spooky. Goodbye.